Hey guys, so do y'all remember these two? Well, I have been meaning to do an update video regarding new charges and the fact that they were rearrested. So this is Phillip and Carin Chavers, and they are from Headland, Alabama. And back in June of this year, they were formally indicted in connection to a fatal hit and run that killed a man from Georgia, and that occurred earlier this year. The hit and run reportedly occurred on U.S. Highway 431 that was in Quincy, Alabama, which is a small town between Headland and Dothan, Alabama. 40-year-old Phillip and 50-year-old Carin were reportedly rearrested on June 10th, and that was after a grand jury formally indicted the two of them. According to reports, Phillip here on the left is now charged with vehicular homicide, and Carin, the wife, is charged with conspiracy and leaving the scene of an accident with either injury or death. In this case, it was death, unfortunately. So here's a bit of a backstory. So there was a deadly hit and run that involved this husband and wife back on Friday, February 28th of this year. That is when 33-year-old Matthew Edward Cook was struck and killed while he was allegedly pushing a bike and traveling along U.S. Highway 431 North. It was said that he was in the median. He is reportedly from Griffin, Georgia, and he was unfortunately pronounced deceased at the scene. Police said that Phillip's vehicle was later found at their home in Headland. They left the man for dead and did not stop. Now, to begin with, Carin, the wife, tried to claim that she struck something and didn't know what it was. She says she didn't know it was a person. Okay, well, I mean, that's when you go back to check and make sure, just in case. She then later allegedly admitted that she lied to police in order to protect her husband, Phillip. She eventually admitted that it was her husband, Phillip, who was driving at the time of the hit and run. Reportedly, it was said that the two of them were on the phone with each other at the time of the incident. According to reports, a license plate reader camera showed that it was the Chavers truck at the scene of the crash. Cops reportedly showed up at their home a few hours later. Now, to begin with, Carin, the wife, only faced misdemeanor charges, but a couple of days before she was supposed to have a trial, several months ago, prosecutors reportedly asked to delay that, which indicated that they were going to pursue felony charges. And rightfully so, good for them. But back to the night of the hit and run, Phillip ended up being arrested later that evening, and he was taken to a local hospital to have his blood drawn. But I'm not 100% sure the results of that. Now, I have read both of their indictments, and I'm going to say that in both of them, or in Phillip's, there are some things in there that are worded tricky. Just wait for more possible reports once I have verification on things. But allegedly, I'm not totally sure if he was drinking because I wasn't there. I will say he was not charged with a DUI, but he didn't blow at the scene, meaning he didn't do a breathalyzer, allegedly. As I said, Phillip is now charged with vehicular homicide, but to begin with, he was charged with leaving the scene of an accident involving death, resisting arrest, obstructing government operations, and making a false report to law enforcement. After he and Carin were formally indicted back on June 10th of this year, both of them were reportedly booked into the Houston County Jail, and the investigation does indeed remain ongoing. Both of them posted a low $10K bond after they were arrested for the second time. $10K is way too low for allegedly killing someone and leaving them there to die, whether it was an accident or not. And these new indictments could indeed send the both of them to prison for several years. Now, of course, the two of them have pleaded not guilty. Several trial dates have been set and continued at this time. Now, as you can see, these were screenshots that were posted by Carin, and this was just days after they were rearrested and their charges were upgraded. They're living their best life, getting their much-needed R&R, by the pool along with her husband. The amount of unremorseful behavior for this act is astounding, and the sheer audacity to post this for the world to see is about the most entitled thing I've ever seen. You can at least act like you're remorseful, that you just got arrested and charged for allegedly taking a man's life. I don't care if it was an accident or not. There's no way I could be posting on social media looking happy and making it seem as if my life is fine and dandy after that. And here's another that was posted on, I believe, the same day, and that was just a few days after they were arrested again and their charges were upgraded. All smiles, you see. Matthew's family doesn't get to do this as they are still grieving the loss of their loved one. The holidays are approaching and these two are still out living their best lives, while Matthew's family is dealing with the enormous loss and grief caused by a series of awful choices. Where is the accountability? The truth will set you free though, right? We'll see. I pray Matthew and his family get the justice they deserve. He was not just a hitchhiker or some random person. I've talked to one of his loved ones. He had family, he had friends, and he was well loved. My prayers are definitely with Matthew's family during this difficult time. And my prayers are also that justice will be served to the absolute fullest in this case. For more updates into this case and other true crime news, make sure you hit follow and subscribe if you're on YouTube.